What questions are you asking that's going to make your agent just cringe? I'm going to lay out my top 5, and then I'll give you a bonus question that actually makes most of us shake in our boots. My name is Schumann. I'm a realtor here in Minneapolis, and if you're curious about Minneapolis, what neighborhoods look like, what's happening in the market here, you may want to subscribe and hit the bell so you know when I post a video, because that's my channel in a nutshell. Okay, here are the top 5. 1, is this a safe neighborhood? 2, is this a good school district? 3, is this a family-friendly neighborhood? 4, who lives next door? And 5, why are the sellers moving? You're thinking, all of these things are things that I worry about when I'm trying to buy a house. I have kids, they need good schools, I'm worried about crime, I don't want bad neighbors, all of these things. Yeah, I get it, me too. And the fact of the matter is that if we give our opinions on any of these questions, it's a violation of the Fair Housing Act, and we can be accused of steering you into a neighborhood or away from another neighborhood. And trust me, I like my job. I would love to keep it. I don't want to get in trouble. So when it comes to these questions, things like schools and crime and quiet neighborhoods, this is really subjective. An agent should give you resources so that you can look up the information for yourself and never give their own personal opinion about the area. My tolerance level for crime and your tolerance level for crime are two very different things. What I feel like is a good school for my child and what you may think is a great school for yours, also very different. We are all different and we all want different things for our homes and neighborhoods. So when I'm asked these questions, I really try to direct people to like police websites, tell them to talk to neighborhoods, maybe get on the next door site for that neighborhood, although I think next door is a lot of complainers. My opinion. For schools, there are school rating sites, and I also advise people to visit the school, talk to the principal, see what the environment feels like there. And sometimes if they can pull it off, they can talk to parents of kids in that school, although again, you're going to get one person's view, and rarely, never, have I been a part of a group where I agreed with the opinion of absolutely everybody involved in that group. So things like race, gender, religion, creed, national origin, disability, marital and family status are protected classes under the Federal Fair Housing Act. And in Minnesota, we take this even a step further, and including things like whether someone is on or has ever been on public assistance, their sexual orientation and gender identity. I really try to practice a deep lack of curiosity about these things because I don't want to know and then inadvertently say something or do something to steer. If you are curious about these things, that is 100% okay because it is your home. You can live where you feel most comfortable. And I would say look at census data or ask your realtor for a neighborhood report that gives demographic information, stuff like income level, education level, percentage of homes that are owner-occupied, property value changes over time, etc. I have no problem giving that type of information. The last question on this list actually hits because of the confidentiality that we owe our clients according to our fiduciary duties in Minnesota. So most of the time, agents will not know why the seller is selling. Price, terms, and motivation are not revealed unless the buyer or seller agree to it. However, if someone does open their mouth and spill the beans, and that can be advantageous to my client, I'm definitely going to make use of this information to help my client because I am bound to represent the client's interest above all others. And in this case, we'll be happy to use that to our advantage in negotiations. Thus, the reason that this clause is included in the list of fiduciary duties owed to a client in Minnesota, but only if you're an actual client, which means you've actually signed a representation agreement. Okay, so here's the one. The question that strikes terror in an agent's heart is whether or not you can use the bathroom in someone's home, like you've gone on a showing. The stories of what have happened to agents when their clients do this can make your hair stand up a little. Most of the time, I'm sure it's 100% fine if it's the main floor powder or guest bathroom and not one adjacent to a bedroom. After all, this is a guest bath. The problem lies actually in what happens when there is an issue with a toilet, or if the client is inconsiderate and leaves it a mess. I can't tell you how many stories you hear of houses with water turned off or other issues that make using that bathroom a really big problem, and not one that any agent wants to find or solve. My best advice is to keep everyone safe and plan to stop at a fast food place, a coffee shop, a gas station along the way and use their restroom. At least you know the water is turned on there. I know that everyone needs to use the restroom, but it's best just to keep all of the scenarios in mind and mitigate the risks as much as possible. So that's my wisdom for today. Thanks for watching this week. Have a great day.